Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
I'm here with a kind-hearted woman named Sonia, who's agreed to let me record this session so you all can benefit from her experience and strength and wisdom and hope, as well as her trials and tribulations and concerns and stumbles and falls. Right, Sonia?
That's right, Glenn. Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your food story before you found us?
Yeah, so basically, I've had an eating disorder now, I'd say, the past 20 years. It started off as bulimia, abusing laxatives, abusing water tablets to get water out your system, exercising 6 days a week. Somehow I managed to combat the bulimia, but the binge eating continued to this very day.
When did you finish with the bulimia?
I'd say about 6 years ago.
Oh, we'll talk about the binge eating in a moment, but tell me how you beat the bulimia. How did you do that?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't like having the willpower or psychology. It was because I was having problems at work and they heard me purging in the disabled toilet. I knew it would cause problems or issues and they'd bring it up against me. So that in itself was enough from 3 meals a day purging to 2 and then to 1 to eventually stopping.
I see. So you didn't want to lose your job, and that forced you into a situation where you couldn't purge for at least 1 meal.
Yeah.
You realized that you were able to control yourself and you decided that maybe I'll go further.
Yeah, and not only that, I was realising after purging, I was even more hungry than I was in the beginning. And apparently when you've vet and then purged, you only bring up 1/3 of what you've eaten. So you think, what's the use in that?
You realize it doesn't even really work.
No,
that's great.
Definitely not.
I appreciate you sharing that, because there are people who struggle with bulimia. We're not designed to help people with bulimia. Some people say it does, but that's not how I designed it. And you say that one thing and it resonates with someone and they're off to their own pattern to stop it themselves. So I really appreciate you being willing to share that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Tell me what I can help you with today.
I think it's more about being in control, not being too obsessed with calories, because I think it's that from the very beginning that got me into eating disorders, because I weigh myself every day and I have done for the past 20 years. You become so engrossed with food that you're thinking about it from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. I want to beat it.
So you'd like to come up with a food plan that won't make you obsessed with calorie counting and weighing yourself.
That's right.
I'm just wondering if you haven't had any thoughts about a set of rules that would work for you without getting you obsessed with calories or food or weighing yourself.
I mean, I have had counselling 1-to-1 before. That didn't work. They suggested not being on a diet. To combat binge eating, you need to not have 2 problems going on. But when you're so obsessed with calories, even though I end up having more than what I should do because of the binging, you just find it hard to not count what you've had.
Mm-hmm. So if there was something that you were monitoring that wasn't calories that would make you feel safe, what would it be?
If it was about portion control, or you get so many diets that they just confuse you, because some say no fruit, some say no carbs. Basically, I end up starting a diet every Monday, but it just doesn't go according to plan.
Mm-hmm.
I've got chronic fatigue now, so that does affect my mobility in some ways. For example, I can't go to the gym 6 days a week. But when I did go to the gym 6 days a week, nobody knew about the bulimia because my weight stayed stable and low. Now that I've had to finish the gym and spend a lot of time at home, the weight's just creeped on. I would say I've gone from 10 stone in 2012 to an extra 4 stone.
You've got a bunch of weight to lose, I understand.
Yeah.
Most people who come to me have that to lose. How about this? I'm going to throw a couple of ideas at you. You tell me if any of them appeal to you, okay? My goal is to make it so it's not really like a diet. It's something that would help you monitor your portions. And at first, I don't think you'd lose a lot of weight, but we could stop the weight gain.
Yeah.
And then you could adjust this later on. My primary goal is to get you to feel under control, make you less obsessed with food, and then we can work on the weight loss later on. Is that okay?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. If your doctors say it's urgent, then I'm not allowed to override that.
Oh, no, they haven't said that.
Okay. Here are some things that people do to be more mindful about their portions without being obsessed with calories. Sometimes they'll say that I'm just going to take a picture of my food before I eat it. And they carry around a smartphone, and before they eat their food, they take a picture. There's actually a little app called Diet Snaps that helps you do that. We're not associated with them.
Okay.
And it just makes them a lot more mindful of what they are eating, what they have eaten, how much they've had during the day, without having to technically count calories or anything like that. So that's one thing that might help you to be more mindful about your portions without counting calories.
Just making a note of that. Yeah, it does sound a good idea, and I'm going to try it.
Okay. The other thing that people do sometimes, they'll say, well, a meal is a fistful of starch, a fistful of protein, 2 fistfuls of vegetables, and a piece of fruit. And whatever the starch is, whatever the protein is, whatever the vegetables are, whatever the piece of fruit is, that's what it is. And their fists are always with them, and they're not like obsessively weighing and measuring. They're just kind of guesstimating what the portions are. And they try to have 3 meals a day. Sometimes they'll add 2 snacks. We'll have a list of allowable snacks, 1 serving of yogurt, whatever it is. I'm not going to give you a diet. What do you think about those 2 so far?
Well, funny enough, but probably it is that I need motivating. I have got a portion control plate, which says half of it like veg or fruit, and the other 2 quarters are the protein and the carbs.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But that doesn't work when you're obsessed with calories.
Why doesn't that work when you're obsessed with calories?
I suppose I wouldn't have to weigh the pasta if it's on the plate. That's a good point. As long as I keep to that size portion.
As long as you kept to the portions, right?
Yeah.
You had 3 a day. We'll deal with all the thoughts and feelings that come up, that suggest that you want to break the plan. We can deal with all that afterwards. As long as you kept to that, that would work, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
Do you have any other ideas about what might work for you?
Not having the wrong type of foods in.
You'll keep processed foods out of the house. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. As tasty as they may be, they never really fill you up, and therefore you consume a high amount of calories, even with just a little bit of it, if you get what I mean.
Do you want to allow yourself to eat them sometimes or not at all?
I think sometimes, because the more you deprive yourself, the more I end up binging.
So you just will not keep them in the house?
That's right. Or just have them at weekends in the house.
Which one would be better?
Yeah, not keeping them in the house.
So I'll never again keep processed foods in the house.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
Do you know what processed foods are? Do you have to define them more carefully?
It's just more that's not a normal ingredient from start.
Okay. Right. So you just don't keep processed foods in the house, and you have control over that, right?
Yeah. It is difficult by the fact that I've got 2 children, but without knowing exactly the in-depth of binge eating disorder, they know I've got a problem that I want to fight. So I think they would be willing to do that.
Tell them just for a month to get you started.
Okay. But strange enough, another point is I did go 4 years once. I never had anything unhealthy. I was obsessed with just only eating healthy foods, fruit, veg. I'm vegan, by the way, so that'd be like corn or tofu. But now I've gone the opposite way, where I see a jam donut, I think I'll just have 1. I've been good all day, and then have 4 gone within a short amount of space of time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So you want to have 3 meals a day with nothing in between, or do you want to have a snack in between there?
I'll start off by trying to get the right portion to fill me up to not have a snack.
Okay.
But if worse comes worse, instead of giving into a binge, I'll just have like an apple or pear.
Okay. So 3 meals a day and 1 piece of fruit in between if you want. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
But that's optional. You don't have to have that, the piece of fruit.
No, not necessarily. Not if I'm still full from the previous meal.
Would you be willing to not skip meals?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Always have your 3 meals a day with nothing in between except for a piece of fruit if you want it. And you won't keep processed foods in the house.
Yeah.
And what about the portion plate? How are we going to word that? We'll define a meal as defined by the portion plate.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about cereal, because cereal's another bad binge eating food for me. So I don't suppose you can get portion size bowls themselves, but just get a small bowl, for example.
A meal is defined by your portion plate, and you could substitute 1 small bowl of cereal.
That's right, yes. So I'll make a note of that.
Okay. And what if you have to eat out?
Because that's another problem I'm always asking restaurants, how many calories are in. So again, that's got to stop. I'll just eat something healthy like jacket potato and beans or vegan bolognese with a jacket potato. Because that one meal that you eat out can destroy everything.
Yeah. Can you make a list? You can do it afterwards. It sounds like you know what you're doing. List of acceptable restaurant meals, right?
Right.
And then the rule will be if you're eating out, a meal is only from the list of acceptable restaurant meals.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we have is 3 meals a day as defined by the portion plates. And you can substitute 1 bowl of cereal for the starch if you need to. And if you're eating out, you'll have a predetermined list of acceptable restaurant meals. And that's all you're going to have when you're eating out.
Okay.
Okay. And what if you're at a friend's house or a family? Same thing as if you're eating out?
Oh, no, it's weird because when I'm in other people's company, I've got more control. In fact, I've gone out for meals, but because I've binged in the day, I refuse to have a meal with them.
Yeah.
And that's no way of living, is it? Or I have just a salad.
That's okay. I mean, I don't want you to binge during the day. I don't think people mind if you have a big salad when you're out to dinner with them.
They just got so used to it that they just said, like, I take it you want your salad or salad again.
It's okay. Salad is food. Salad counts. That's usually what I order when I go out to dinner because I don't really know how much oil and sugar and starch and salt.
Exactly. That's why I don't go out much, but I do like curries and bulties. But when I looked up online, that each portion of bulty was about 800 calories because of all the oil that they add in. Just gets you thinking.
Let's talk about weighing yourself. How often do you want to weigh yourself?
Between 1 to 2 times a day.
Per day? Every day?
Yeah.
Okay. Take a breath and let me know. How does that feel to you?
I feel very positive about it already, to be honest. And I haven't been like that for 20 years. Like I say, every day, even at Christmas, Glenn, I've been on a diet.
Does this feel like a diet?
No, because I'm going, forget about calories altogether, because obviously it's not doing any good, and be willing to try another way.
Just take a breath and let me know. Does this feel like the right plan for you for the next 30-day experiment?
It does, yes, definitely.
Okay. What would it do for you if you stayed on this plan 100% for 30 days? How would you feel after 30 days? What would be different and better?
Well, hopefully, by not having the processed food, hopefully I say that I won't crave, especially sugar foods. My body would be cleansed of them, if you get what I mean.
So you'd be rid of the torturous cravings.
Yeah, definitely, because they're the ones that, even at 3 a.m. in the morning, when I wake up to go toilet, but then I can't resist going down because it's such an habit.
Let's focus on what's going to be better. So you're going to be free of torturous cravings. What else is going to be better in 30 days?
Hopefully, again, not being obsessed with calories due to the fact that I know every calorie to every food.
Free of calorie obsession.
Yeah.
And what else?
Just to feel healthier and more relaxed about food, not thinking about food 24/7, not thinking I haven't better eat for another 4 hours because I've just ate that. Just letting my body control when I'm hungry, not just eat for the sake of it.
You'd be free of food obsession.
Yeah.
One of the things we like to say to people that struggle with food addiction is that for the first 6 months or so, you really have to assume that your body's hungry and full meters are broken. Like it's a nice idea to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, but you might need to have some intellectual plans and just follow them. Like there's 3 meals a day with only fruit in between and very portioned out plates. You probably want to have reasonable times for your meals that are spaced out, nothing set in stone. You want to eat with your intellect rather than your feelings for the first 6 months or so. Our instincts are broken by all the processed food and junk that we've had.
Right.
So you'd be free of food obsession, you'd be free of calorie obsession, you'd be free of the torturous cravings.
That's right.
Yeah. Are you spending $180 a month on binge food?
Not that much less, so yes.
$2,000 a year out of your budget, conservatively, on binge food.
Okay.
Would you recoup that then if you were not spending it on binge food?
Yeah, save it all.
Yeah. Would you be going out to eat any less often?
I don't go out that often, to be honest.
Okay.
For meals, that is.
What else would be better in 30 days?
Hopefully better confidence and therefore me in control of the food instead of having the food in control of me.
Be the master of your own fate?
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Anything else?
My sons have picked up on me weighing themselves every day. They do it and they getting obsessed, and that's not good.
You'd be a better role model.
Yeah, that's it.
What happens if you just keep doing what you've been doing? Not in a month, but let's say in 5 years.
Your weight will just increase.
How much do you think you'd gain in 5 years?
2.5 stone.
35 pounds. Do you understand the concept of the pig yet, or the food monster?
Oh, the food monster, yes.
Why does your food monster say that you've got this great new plan now, but you won't be able to do it for a month? Why does the pig say you can't or shouldn't or won't be able to do
No,
it?
I'm determined proving wrong.
I think that's fantastic, but is it saying anything that makes you feel like less than 100% confident that you can do this?
Yeah, especially with you mentioning before that you get coaching on a regular basis. So I think that'll help massively.
Oh, because you're planning to take the program.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so you feel 100% confident that you're going to follow this plan for 30 days?
I do, yes.
What questions or concerns do you have?
I'm just hoping that with me only eating a tiny bit of cereal, which we call Weetabix a day, and then starving myself for 24 hours, I think that's another part of binging. So I've just realised that it's not my belly telling me I'm still hungry once I've had that small portion. It's getting out of that habit and then occupy yourself with something else. And then 15 minutes later, realise you're no longer craving stuff or hungry.
Sonia, what I want you to do is have no more of it, no less than what's on your portion plate 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Are you open to that?
Yeah, I am.
Maybe it's a little boring, but that's okay. If we're a little bored for a month, but we get all these other benefits and we're free of food obsession and free of cravings and all the things you told me about, we turn the corner in this thing and give you control. That's okay. It's worth the price of being a little bored for a month, right?
Right. Yeah, correct.
And you can vary the meals if you want to. You're just using the portion plate. You're not on a diet. Very regular, day in and day out, like a train you could set your clock by. 3 meals a day, portioned out, a piece of fruit in between if you want it. It's just 30 days. You can change it towards the end if you want to. Not spontaneously or impulsively. You would only change it by sitting back and talking about it. And hopefully you're in the program by then and we can help you directly. Day in and day out, very regular. The pig will try to tell you to skip a meal and then you'll be able to have 2 of them later.
Oh, yeah, intermittent fasting.
It'll want you to do intermittent fasting, which I don't think for you is a good idea, what you're just starting.
No, because that just makes me think about food more, because it's 16 hours that you have to go without food.
Yeah. The other thing you can do, if you want to get less obsessed with the scale, is to weigh in once a week or even once a month. I think it might be scary for you to wait a whole month at first.
Yeah, even when I go on holiday, I try to buy scales. It's so like worrying, not knowing what I weigh, but I'm determined to get out of that kind of thinking. Another thing, when I weigh myself every day and don't see a difference, you feel low about it and therefore you binge again because you think I haven't lost weight, but it takes more than a day to lose weight, as you know.
Yeah. And the pig says, therefore, this doesn't work. Therefore, this plan is pathetic and you should just give up and binge right now. Yippee, let's go get some. That's what the pig says. And if you had a binge and you weigh in the next day, you only gained a quarter pound, it says, yippee, we got away with it. Let's go have more. So what are you going to do with weighing in? How are you going to do that?
I'm going to hide the scales or tell my husband to put them somewhere that I do not know.
So you're not going to weigh in at all?
No, I'm not, because clearly it's not working. It's just making me think of weight, food, calories even more.
But what about if you weigh in at the end of the month?
Yeah, that's what I thought of after the 30 days.
If you weigh in once a month, and you can make adjustments based on what happens. Do you think it's possible that if you follow this plan that you could gain weight in 30 days?
No, I think if the portions are controlled, no, I don't think I will, because it's not processed food that I'll be having.
So these simple rules are all that you need. 3 meals a day, portioned out, no processed food. That's all you really need.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah, I've made a note of all that.
Do you have any other questions?
Not that I can think of. I think you've answered everything. Thank you.
Will you let us know on the forums one way or the other?
I will do, yes, definitely.
Okay, well, I will look forward to hearing that.
And I look forward to doing it.
I'll look forward to having you in the program when you're ready. My groups are on Mondays in the morning and the evening.
Thank you. After this meeting, I'll subscribe straight away.
Terrific. I will look forward to seeing you there. Good luck with everything.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.